Oh, voice actors, come on. Chris Pratt!
What? Why?
So cool.
I'm taking a shot for that one. That looks like
guy
something
from
someone would
Always
put on
Sunny.
4chan. Oh, that is fucking epic. This film is so poggers, dude. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm your host for today, Ethan, and joining me is the technical mess that are my co-hosts, Kyle and Hunter. Hey guys, how are you doing?
I'm doing
We've
just
been
swell.
here for 2 hours trying to figure things out.
Dude, I have transformed into the
I've actually
90s
been here for
13-year-old
23
kid from
years
every
trying to
movie
figure things
with
out.
this baseball cap, and the internet has also transformed into 90s internet because we can't get this fucking podcast to work this week. And we are like 2.5 hours after our scheduled start time trying to get this podcast to record. So we're trying something really jank this week where we're not using Discord, but we're not using the thing in the intended way either because it also lags out everything. So fingers crossed we get at least some kind of thing. We'll at least have an audio episode.
Yeah, at least we'll have that.
You can't screw audio up. I think that's why podcasts started in audio, guys. I think that's why it was.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You just can't screw it up. But no, welcome back to probably a short episode of the HGO podcast because we've used all of our allotted recording time up. But we are here yet again because Hunter has played video games, because you know me and Kyle haven't. So Hunter has played Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. He's going to give his first impressions. And then we're probably going to talk about that Nintendo Direct. Chris Pratt edition that we'll get to in a little bit as well. We'll give our impressions, our thoughts, and all of that. But no, welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast where every week all three of us come together to talk about everything that we love about the world of gaming. Nobody else, because no one else is allowed, apparently. But you can
More like no one else wants to show up.
Yeah.
We asked, we tried.
We ask and nobody wants to. We see you. But no, welcome back to the show where you can search for Hot Gamers Only on your favourite podcast services and you can listen to us every week talk about everything we love in the world of gaming. Or you can look at our stupid faces, usually pixelated because of how laggy everything is, because we can't fix anything, by going to youtube.com.
I like that Kyle's just started doing it with me now.
Pizzazz.
That was a one-time deal.
Jazz
Hunter.
hands. Like, just starting doing all
I was
of the
hoping you just let it
show tunes.
slide.
No.
It'd be like a little gift for Ethan in editing.
Just a little gift.
Just be like,
yeah.
what are these idiots doing?
Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh, housekeeping.
Something
We had a lot of
about Chris Pratt.
We had a lot of content go up last week. We had the Deathloop podcast episode, which a lot of you seem to have enjoyed, so thank you for that one. We also had the Life is Strange True Colors spoiler cast, which isn't doing that hot on YouTube, but spoiler casts never fucking do. But it's doing really great on podcasts, so thank you, audio listeners, for showing up. The spoiler casts are basically our gift to you guys because you guys show up for those. So we're glad you're enjoying them, and yeah, continue to listen to spoiler casts on podcast services because we do really appreciate it. And then we had the Nintendo Direct reaction go up. So if you want to see us fucking howl at the stupid reactions that happened and all the announcements from last week, then be sure to go and check that one out as well. We have plenty of content. This week, my Life is Strange review should go up. It got postponed because of Chris Pratt. Blame him.
Yeah.
But that should be going up. And I don't know if anything else will be going up this week. I don't think so. Maybe the Mario thing might finally go up this week, Cal. We'll see. If I have enough time to do the metadata, which takes forever on that kind of stuff, we'll see. But yeah,
Hey, dude, no rush. I don't even have part 2 done.
Don't worry about it. We'll figure
I
it
haven't
out.
looked at the project since I made part 1.
That's the spirit. It's
And
fine.
that was in like July.
2 months ago.
Shut up, Hunter.
So at least it's better than his Clubhouse Games review where he recorded all 51 Clubhouse games and then never did the fucking video. He wrote the script, guys. He wrote the script and recorded the footage. He just couldn't be bothered to narrate it. That was the point that Kyle was like, I'm out, I'm done.
Now the footage isn't even on my computer.
Yeah, you lost.
No,
It's gone.
You switched computers.
It's there. It's out in the ether. It's all gone.
Oh.
Or is it on an external?
If by ether, you mean this
we,
guy?
We don't talk about that thing. fucking nightmare
And then
to
it
edit
just
your audio from
explodes.
that
Be
one.
nice to Reginald.
No, Reginald can stay
Right.
away. He can go back to playing Animal Crossing on his Nintendo 3DS. But yeah, let's just get started. We have, if you can't tell, we've got a weird and wacky vibe this week. So join in or get the fuck out, really, because this is probably what it's going to be like for the rest of the
Join
episode.
us.
These are fighting words, in a
I
fighting
think that's just the
mood.
tagline of this podcast at this point.
Yo, you 20 people watching want to fucking fight? Let's go. But no, let's talk about Kana, because Hunter, you've been playing quite a bit of Kana, or at least some of it.
Right, I have no physical version because
No.
they don't exist.
It's out in November.
Oh,
They have announced physical copy coming in November. But I didn't
That's
want to tell
annoying,
you because then
but-
you wouldn't play it.
you didn't even. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll buy it again.
That was evil. I didn't even know. Right. To be fair, Hunter's not told me that he's played this game until like a couple of hours ago. But I was like, I know that the chance goes down to 0 if I tell him a physical's coming in November. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and walk away. So it won. I win.
It's true. We have to settle for my
Content.
CD cases in the background today.
Truly tragic.
But yeah, Kana's really cool. I've enjoyed it. It took me about half an hour to be like, yep, I like this game's vibe. As far as gameplay goes, it is very much it has like the spirit of a PS2 adventure platformer, except probably less janky than how all of those were.
Yeah, that's a comment I've heard quite a bit. I've seen a lot of people say that it's giving people PS2 vibes, which is
Yeah.
here
Or
we
at least
go.
It has vibes as far as how I remember PS2 games like that, not necessarily how they were,
Mhm.
you know.
It's about
And
time,
it's-
right? It's that time. It's
yeah.
that time of the cycle where people stop being nostalgic about PS2, right? That's this.
Yeah.
PS1 time's over.
You know, it's that time where buying rare PS2 games is $100, so yeah.
Impossible.
Nostalgia is there. Hi, Silent Hill 3. I'll get you one day.
Well, you
I
won't.
see no Saga 3. I'll get you one day.
Yeah.
Any Persona
So-
game in Europe, I'll never get you because you're damn expensive.
But yeah, and as far as the actual like atmosphere and vibe of the game, it's very heavily like Zelda inspired. Ember Labs is that animation team that made the terrible Fate Majora's Mask short film a few years ago. And the composer is Theophany, who has made these really cool Majora's Mask tribute albums, and they're great. So yeah, as soon as the music kicked in, I'm like, oh yes, this is a good time.
Yeah, I forgot the game was coming out, to be honest. Like, this game's had multiple release dates, right? And it kept getting pushed. Obviously, Ember Labs, a small team, can't really blame them. I think this is a perfect example of one of those games which is being made by such a small team, and I think people don't necessarily realize it. Where in the similar vein of No Man's Sky, this thing gets pumped up by Sony. Publishers kind of explode it, and then everyone kind of just expects it to be this big, massive blockbuster by a AAA studio, and it's actually this really small team. But I remember like looking at people play it now and hearing good things. I'm like, damn, why did I buy Deathloop? I should have 100% got it on Kino.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to finish this game before I go back to playing Deathloop. So, in part because it's shorter, and also in part just because I like its vibe a lot more. Deathloop, while I'm enjoying what I'm playing, you know, isn't exactly grabbing me and being like, I need to play this.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that maybe I'll pick up the physical. We'll do a switcheroo here, and I'll pick up the physical version in November.
I'm still going to pick up the physical version,
Oh,
don't worry.
you swine. But no, I'm 100% looking forward to it. So, for everybody who hasn't maybe seen Kina, do you want to give a brief kind of plot synopsis while I go grab a drink, because I failed to do that before we started?
Alright, I can do that. So Kena Bridge of Spirits is about, well, actually, the way you pronounce it is Kana, strangely enough, and I haven't gotten used to saying that yet, but that's how they say it in the game. So, Kana Bridge of Spirits is about Kana, who is a spirit guide who is wandering around this mountain. Her goal seems to be get to the mountain shrine, which is way up at the top of a mountain, who would have guessed. And there's like a bunch of corruption from spirits who are still hanging on to their life from before, and have been like, you know, went out in a way where they were done dirty, supposedly. and she's trying to help them pass on. She makes her way to this mountain shrine. So that's the basic premise.
Awesome.
And so yeah, it's a cool setup. What are you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, you can carry on. I was just gonna I was gonna move on to like gameplay kind of stuff, but you have more to say about the story.
Oh no, I was just saying that the setup was pretty cool, and so far I'm still like working on the first major spirit that I'm helping like pass on. It seems to be segmented in a few different areas.
Okay, so from a gameplay perspective, obviously you said that environmentally, at least very Zelda inspired. What is the gameplay like then? What is the main kind of draw to Kena gameplay wise?
Well, all right, so it's 3D platforming mostly, so it's not like very intensive, like gotta make these jumps in pixel perfect manner like you would be for a 2D platformer. And the combat is pretty basic, but they've got a decent amount of stuff that you're able to do, like typical quick attack, heavy attack, haptic feedback on the R2, so that's nice. I just unlocked the bow not too long ago, so that's cool. I haven't really got to use it much in combat. I used it once, and it was not exactly the best thing for damage output, but, you know, decent for taking... I think if you shoot things off of platforms, it'll kill them instantly. So there's that. There's a very small upgrade tree, and, you know what, for the kind of game it is, I'm very happy that it's not like start up here and then the several branches going down, because that's played out and annoying. And getting the ability to upgrade them isn't very hard. Oftentimes you get points for just telling the rot to do stuff. The rot's your little companion buddies who...
Yeah, so question, on a scale of 1 to minions, what would you rate the rot?
I like them. I like them a lot. Their design is very appealing. They are non-intrusive in the way that they interact with you. It's just they're kind of you can push the right button on the D-pad and like pet them or something. You'll sit down and then you can push like the face buttons, and Kena will have an interaction with them of your choice.
They're very cute.
As far as being annoying, they haven't been. I like them quite a bit. So there's that.
Nice. No. Because, like, I remember the one thing that a lot of people were talking about when this game was announced in particular was the animation quality and just the visual appeal of the game, right? That's why a lot of
it looks so good.
Love came from, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know I genuinely have no clue what to ask about this game, to be honest, because I'm going to be straight up honest. I haven't looked at any of the gameplay. I've tried to stay away from it because I know that I'm going to eventually play it. I don't know if you have any questions, Kyle.
I genuinely don't know anything about the game.
I don't know.
So, the combat, while not like super crazy, is a bit harder than maybe you would expect it to be.
Okay. That's interesting.
So that's something there. Like I fought a boss before coming on, named Kappa, by the way, so hilarious because it killed me when I had 1 hit left to go on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, go on.
Dying is a possibility, though I think half of that comes from me not taking it seriously till I'm almost dead.
So is the combat simple, or is it like is it your kind of PS2 kind of combat where it's like a couple of hits of the square and then maybe your bow and arrow?
Yeah, pretty much. It's got a bit more layers than just same combo every time, because you can do the light combo and then the heavy thing, and then your upgrades, like you eventually, like, half of the thing is building around once you take an enemy out, you get the ability to sick the rot on them, or sick the rot on the monster closet that's spewing them, and then do a thing to make them die. Or if you do it to the enemy, it'll hold them in place while you smack them.
Interesting.
So it is a bit more... There's a bit more to it than just push square until they die. But it's not like overly complex in any kind of manner.
Awesome. Well, very short first impressions, but like I say, I've been avoiding gameplay of this game.
Don't worry, it's very possible that I'll just review this game when I finish it.
That'd be great. But I guess
Deathloop can wait.
From your short playtime so far, how are you feeling overall? Like, obviously, I feel like it's a very positive.
I do give this a thumbs up. Recommend. Go check it out because I like PS2 adventure stuff. It feels like that. It's got
you're a monster.
Modern sensibilities. Like there is auto saving and whatnot. It's not like you're being screwed over if you turn the game off and you haven't hit the save point or anything like that. So,
I'm very much looking forward to this game. It's genuinely going to be one that I pick up. I don't know when I'm going to pick it up because I said that I wasn't going to because of buying Deathloop, and here I have been this week. I have not been playing Deathloop. If you can see, that's not even Deathloop on in the background. That's just Persona because I bought another copy of that damn game for some reason this week. But don't ask me why. I'm crazy. But man, Kena, I feel like is a game that, especially people who are our age, who grew up on PS2 mainly. I know we're a bit weird because we also play PS1 games. I feel like our age range was mainly PS2, right? And sometimes you might have played some PS1 games backwards compatible or whatever. I feel like this is a game kind of made up and that's for us and up our alley, really. So I'm definitely interested.
And the premise of the story, is set up to potentially be like more to it than the typical, Cortex stole your crystals, blah blah blah.
Yeah. It definitely does kind of fit that more PS2 vibe where the stories did kind of start going a bit more in depth and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. And just to say to everybody that it is also available on PS4 and on PC, not just PS5. So everybody can play it unless you're in a fridge, and then unfortunately you're stuck playing the Halo beta. You poor souls. But now,
Psychonauts 2.
Or Psychonauts 2, which is apparently one of the best platformers ever made, so I am very much jealous. Although it is on PS4. That's another game I need to play. Gosh, so many good platformers this year, man. Like, who would have guessed that 2021 would be the year where the platformer shines? I mean...
And you bought Deathloop.
And I bought Deathloop. We'll get to Deathloop in a second. I'll give an update on Deathloop before we talk about E3. But, yeah, man, because when you think about it, you've got...
E3.
Not E3, Nintendo Direct. Potato. They're the same thing, dude. They're the same thing. At this point, you only watch E3 for Nintendo Direct anyway, so they're the same thing. But
if other people wanted to show up.
For other people, yeah, Sony just didn't want to. Sony's given up on it. But no, man, so many good platformers. It Takes Two came out earlier in the year, Ratchet and Clank. Psychonauts. You basically one more platformer and you genuinely could have enough Game of the Year noms from just the platforming genre this year. That's kind of crazy. But no, good to hear that Kena is living up to your expectations. That's cool. I guess I'll talk quickly about Deathloop. I have played like another hour or two of it, and it's very much Deathloop. Guys, just want to throw that out there. I'll do a quick Deathloop update because I did mention that I've been having a couple of technical issues with it. So, I thought I'd say to people, because no one's fucking talking about this, because I feel like every game outlet out there is not mentioning how fucking buggy and broken this game is. But hey-ho. Whatever, so... We mentioned how the cutscenes don't work, Hunter. We talked about that off.
Oh, right.
Off the podcast.
Yeah, like every time you die, and it does the, I'm cold, I'm getting up from the beach thing, it's framey to the point where I notice it.
Yeah.
Check my track record on this podcast about how much I care about frame rates.
Yeah, it's not even that it's not even the fact that it's got a low frame rate. It's the fact that it's tearing. The frames are tearing. You've got you've got horizontal lines where you can see the tearing, and it's not even just on that one. It's on every single cutscene. Do you remember in the trailers? If you see in the Deathloop trailers, it's like these cool kind of 1960s kind of animation, kind of weird, like orange, white, and black kind of like animated cutscenes, right? Those are in the game, but they looked better in the trailer because the trailer didn't have the weird fucking screen tearing.
Oof.
So, that sucks. But the one thing that I wanted to mention was because we did it with Ratchet and Clank, where I mentioned that I got a fucking hard lock that lost an hour and a half of progress. We did mention it. So I thought I'd mention the same for Deathloop because it's only fair that I mention it, that I've had this game crash on me now 6 times in the 8 hours that I played it. That's literally like once every 60 to 90 minutes that I have a crash. 2 of them have been completely wiped out. Errors occurred in the application. And then 4 of them have been more interesting, where I've gone into a menu in the game and the game doesn't load the menu, but it also locks me out of the gameplay and I can't get out of that menu. So I just have to sit there.
I just remembered something weird that happened to me.
Go on.
On the loadout screen. When I left it, the loadout menu followed me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty high.
I had to go all the way back to the title screen.
Oh, just
Go
keep
back
going.
in.
It's still following me. It's still following me. Leave me alone.
I'm on the PS5 home screen. It's still there.
Oh my god.
Imagine.
I'm in Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's still there.
You can't break the loop, Kyle. You can't break the
Your
loop.
parents are dead, and I'm still laughing.
So yeah, it's a very buggy game. I don't think many people have mentioned it. Or also, there's the bug where some people have mentioned it, where the frame rate's uncapped on the load screens. So when the game's loading, the frame rate shoots up to 300 because the GPU, the way that the PS5's GPU works is it's kind of on a variable frequency where if it gets more demanding, the power input of the console increases. So when the PS5 senses that the game's gone up to a frame rate of like 400, the PS5 has a mental breakdown and just starts taking in power and makes this horrible fucking noise. And it just starts whining at you as if to go, I'm stressed. And it's like all it's on is on a load screen where it's loading a loop like an infinity loop. And it's just like, I don't believe that this game was supposed to come out for launch of the console. It doesn't feel it's had a year delay and it still feels a bit broken. So just some heads up. As for the game itself, I still stand by it. It's a puzzle box of a video game where they give you a Lego detailed instruction set on how to solve every single fucking puzzle.
Yeah, it is true. You're pretty guided throughout the ones that are important, and I've just kind of been ignoring the other ones that I don't feel like. I don't care about finding the password to Karaoke Man's little door.
Oh yeah, but the game just holds your hand too much. It feels like it's trying to, like we said this last week. It's trying to be all these different things, and it's not really being a master of any of them. And even the stuff that it is excelling at is the stuff that Arcane is already known for, like the gameplay loop of the stealth and the kind of hand-to-hand combat stuff like that. That is just straight up Dishonored, which they've already nailed before, and it's like all this new stuff that they're doing. I don't know if they 100% nailed it. Yeah. And it's just a bit buggy. So just a heads up. I feel like the game's getting a lot of praise, and a lot of it is deserved, but also I feel like because it's Arcane, a lot of people are kind of looking over some of the issues. It's a bit like how Insomniac with Ratchet & Clank came out and I had that hard lock and I was like, I need to say this because I know that no one else is going to mention this fucking hard lock because everyone loves Insomniac and I love Insomniac, but if I fall through the floor and lose an hour and a half of progress, I should probably fucking mention it so that people know. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. That's just a little bit of Deathloop. Just that game needs some patches and also, it might not be for everybody. But hey, I'm glad to see the last episode did well, and it seems that other people are agreeing, so I'm glad I'm not the only person. I'm glad me and you, Hunter, aren't the only 2 people on the planet that aren't clicking with Deathloop as everybody else is.
I am very much in the camp of so far it is okay.
Yeah. It very much, and it's not bad. It's just, I would not put it in Game of the Year contention for me, personally.
I mean, I'm not doing backflips over it, but I also don't typically do backflips over the high end. Yes, this is a very AAA game, doing AAA things.
I mean, there have been times like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. But it isn't clicking with me like it has everybody else. But it's mainly because it just does. I don't feel like it knows what it wants to be. It wants to be this massive puzzle, but it also wants to be this mainstream thing that holds your hand the entire time and tells you exactly where the puzzle solution is. So it just. I digress. We said enough. So yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about this wonderful world of Nintendo. how are we doing this, Hunter? Are we doing the list? Is the list in order of appearance?
It appears to be, yes.
So we're going to do our... Do you want to start with initial thoughts of the Direct as a whole?
Yeah, sure.
You can
Want
go
me to
first.
Go first? All
Oh,
right.
want me to go first? I can go first.
All right, sure.
I can chat shit about
for it.
Nintendo. Sure. It was a weird Direct for me. I don't know about you
Yes, it
guys,
was.
but I feel like
it was super strange.
Not even. I remember if you go and look at our reaction at youtube.com//hotgamesonly, you'll see that you gotta get that plug-in, Carly. Come on. Why are you guys? Come on, just watch the video. I said, like, within the first 4 announcements, I was like, this is a weird Direct so far. It has
like
a weird
13
vibe
minutes
to it.
in was about when we said that, I believe.
Yeah, and I still stand by it. It's such a weird one. Because, Nintendo Directs, they usually have this formula of big announcement at the start, which is usually either a Smash reveal or a new game, and everyone goes, holy shit. And then
some
you
stuff
have
in between.
you have Mr. Nintendo Man come out, go, now time for some Nintendo Switch highlights. They do a highlight reel. Then they go, hey, we've got another big project. Here, have a look at this. And this one's usually the thing you already know is coming, but it's a more in-depth look at it because it's coming closer to launch. And they're like, okay, now we've done that. Here's some more highlights. Do the fucking Switch snap, and off we go to more highlight land. And then they have your highlights, and they go, okay, we have one last thing to show you. Have a look. And then it's another big reveal. Usually it's, 2 big reveals, a chunky in-depth thing on the side, and then highlights in between. This thing was Monster Hunter expansion, weird highlights, 2 non-announcements, some more highlights, Mario movie, Splatoon 3, Bayonetta, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was really weird. I still didn't hate it while we were watching, but it's certainly not. I think the other 2 that we got this year were better.
Yeah, I agree. And people were really hit and miss on the first Direct that we got this year. I personally loved it. It was my favorite of the 3 that we've had this year. Yeah. But I think that's just because it really clicked with me. It was very much an Ethan Direct. You got the Pyra reveal for Smash. You got Splatoon 3. It just kind of it instantly clicked with me because it was all the stupid shit I wanted, and I was like, yes, let's go. And E3 was a lot of stupid shit everybody else wanted, and I was like, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Metroid.
Hi, Metroid. Fucking
Mario
fraud.
Party.
Yeah, Mario Party. And then this Direct was like, there was bits and pieces for everybody, but there was nothing huge in this Direct. I'll just flat out say it. There was nothing huge. There was no big thing.
It was very middling.
Because even the quote-unquote big thing of Bayonetta and Kirby, both the 2 big things were leaked like 2 hours beforehand. And Bayonetta 3's been announced for 4 years. I'm not counting that as a big re-reveal. It's like, oh, well done. You finally showed up, Platinum. Congratulations. You win a prize. So, I don't know. Kyle, what did you think?
I will say this about Bayonetta. I do like the little tongue-in-cheek joke they had where Bayo was just like, sorry I took so long.
She looks at the fucking camera. Go and watch that trailer again. She looks and winks at the camera. It's such a fourth wall break, but I absolutely adored it. I didn't notice it the first time, but she genuinely takes a second to stop and wink at the camera. And I'm like, fair play. Fair play to do a tongue-in-cheek reference to this game literally being in development for nearly half a decade. But yeah, Direct as a whole, Cal.
Overall, like, there was stuff I was happy to see. Like, we finally got the last 2 boards for the Mario Party Superstars. I think it's called
Mario Party Superstars. Yeah, I think that's right. Is it? I don't know. I have it pre-ordered. They have my money. I don't know what the name of it is, but they have my money.
The real Mario Party Switch game.
Yeah.
Got more info on Project Triangle Strategy, which is no longer a project and just a triangle strategy.
We'll get into it.
Featuring a square grid.
We're going beat by beat.
Made by Square Enix.
we're going to go beat by beat. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Castlevania GBA collection. I finally want to actually try playing those because I'm not busting out the Wii U to play GBA games again. But on the whole, I don't know. The Direct was just very middling to me. Nothing major. I'm sure there was stuff there for people who like Kirby and Bayo, but I'm not there.
We'll get to it. We'll run beat by beat. But like my whole thing is, with Kirby and Bayo, one, they both got leaked, and two, that's for very niche people. Like, I think the Kirby thing, fair play to the Kirby, they're doing something new with Kirby, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Because Kirby is the franchise that hasn't fucking changed in decades. So the fact that they actually are going, what if we try something new for the first time in 20 years? I'm like, you know what, fair play. And also, I should specify, the last thing that they did that was new was the Air Riders, or whatever it was called, where Kirby was playing fucking Silver Surfer. I don't remember what that game's called.
Was that a racing game?
Yeah, it was, but I don't remember what it was called.
That was the GameCube game, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the closest thing Kirby's had to something that isn't a 2D platformer in like 6 years.
Yeah, everything
like
else just been a 2D
years.
platformer.
Or a pinball game or something, or that weird like golf GBA SNES game. What was it like? I don't know.
Hey,
anyway.
Kirby's Dream Course is great.
Yeah, Kirby's Dream Course. That's it. But well, Hunter,
According
do you want
to Nintendo, it's a SNES classic.
Is it? It's a
baby.
SNES bona fide SNES classic. Wow.
A bona fide
Chrono
SNES
Trigger
classic.
isn't.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
Hunter, general thoughts, and then
It
do you
is
wanna
on my SNES classic.
roll us on the list.
Wait, did you want me to start the rundown now?
Your general opinion, if you had anything else to add, otherwise. But
I kind of already said most of what I was saying. It was weird. I didn't hate it, but I think the other two this year were better. You know, it had some things that made me go, ooh.
did it have anything that made
Yeah.
you go, ah?
Nah, no ahs,
Some
just
things that made
oohs.
him go, eh.
Yeah.
No Nick All-Stars Brawl rap and fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
No reveal?
No Zuko reveal.
Cringe. Anyway, let's do it then. We're going to run beat by beat. And we're going to... This is the new thing for when we do reviews of conferences. We can all... If anyone wants to pass on anything, we'll just pass, okay? We don't have to talk about everything. If we all mutually agree that we don't give a shit, we'll just move on. Instead of offending people by saying, who gives a toss, we'll just fucking move on.
Fair.
Anyway, go on, Hunter.
So it starts off with a DLC expansion for Monster Hunter Rise called Sunbreak, coming in summer 2022.
Yo, can we hit the pass button?
Yeah. So the one thing I'll say is it seems weird to start off with a DLC that isn't Smash Brothers.
Oh, I remember.
Have they ever done that?
Don't you remember? I was like, this is Smash Bros. I was like, no, not Monster Hunter's the final Smash Bros.
Dude,
rep. No.
honestly, I would have been
just-
so annoyed if it was a Capcom rep that they passed over Dante for, and it was just generic Monster Hunter guy.
Or the cat thing. I don't know what the cat things are called.
But
Palico.
I'm sure this will
Palico,
be
that's
cool
it. Well
for
done, thank you, Cal.
Monster Hunter fans, but I have not played Monster Hunter, so...
Monster Hunter's
Yeah,
a very...
we are not Monster Hunter fans.
I tried. I played 4 Ultimate on 3DS for a good 3 hours before going, what is this, and stopping. I did try. It's for a certain set of people, and I feel like Rise and World have a better kind of way to get people into it, because they're a lot more it's a lot easier to get into the multiplayer, and I'm sure it's a lot easier to have friends and help you out in these games more now, the more modern versions of it. But trying to get into it on your own feels like a burden, and it's just I'm not up for it personally.
It also just, I could be totally wrong on this, but it also just feels like one of those games where if you're not there at or near the start, you're just going to be so far behind everything.
Oh, 100%. It's one of those games where I feel like you have to be there at launch. It doesn't seem to me like it's the kind of Destiny thing where they have like a reset out every time. It just feels like it keeps building on and on and on and on, and you just gotta kind of...
Like a Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, where there's so much content that you're just like, I'm out.
Oh,
I'm a head out. Have fun, Final Fantasy 14 fans. That's my... it's the exact same way I feel about both of those games. The exact same way is I'm happy that you guys love it. I just do not have the time to invest in it at all.
Yeah, if I had...
Yeah.
I have zero doubts that something like Final Fantasy XIV is great. I played around with it a couple of times for a few hours and was like, ooh, this is cool. It's got a very neat world, and I don't have the time to play you. So bye.
Yep.
But no, I'm sure it's great, and I'm sure Monster Hunter fans... Actually, I did have a message from a Monster Hunter fan who's a friend of mine that was like, oh, I guess I can just sleep because I got what I wanted. I'm like, well, good for you. I'm glad you're one of the 3 people that got what they wanted at the start of the Direct. So, yeah. Anyway, what happened after that, Hunter?
right after that was the reveal of what I believe is the rest of the Mario Party Superstars boards, which include Woody Woods, Yoshi's Tropical Star, and Horrorland.
Horrorland's a big pog, dude. That's a big pog.
I love Horrorland.
Fucking big pog.
I didn't play any of these old Mario Party games, but Horrorland speaks to me.
Honestly, dude, Spaceland and they like I don't really care about the Yoshi. I don't care about Yoshi or Woody Woods that much, but just having the Peach's birthday, just having Peach's birthday cake, Spaceland, and Horrorland, I'm like, okay, those are like the three boards that I'm probably gonna want to play the most. Like, I'm sold on that. That's pretty.
No pirate level that you were asking for, though.
No, but
like I would have liked Pirate Land over probably Spaceland, but I'm cool with what we got.
I'm just grateful that we got 2 Mario Party 2 boards. That's all I'm saying. Because I thought that I was like, Mario Party 2 out of the original 3 Mario Party games, Mario Party 2 is my favorite. So I was in my head, I was going, this is the one that's going to get shafted and only have 1 course. So I'm glad that we got 2. So I'm not going to complain.
I'm surprised Mario Party 3 only got 1 board. Because I kind of thought that was more of the fan favorite from the N64 trilogy.
Same. I have no clue.
It's a little weird to me that they only do 5 rather than having 6 with 2 from each.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I would have personally put a bet on that Mario Party 1 would have been the one that only had 1 board. But interesting either way. We'll get to it with N64 Online, but I think it's very interesting that now the N64 Online is happening, what will happen with those Mario Party games. Because there's the obvious question of, maybe they won't put the Mario Party games on there. But they also released 3D All-Stars, and now Mario 64 is going on N64 Online. So it's like, well, we can have that conversation with N64 Online. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hunter, please continue.
All right, the next one we had was Voice of Cards, The Isle of Dragon Roars.
Pass.
Square Enix and Yoko Taro. My only comment is it should have been called Yoko Taro Cards.
Yeah, I agree.
You're welcome for that one, Hunter.
Yeah. I forgot where I heard it. My bad.
Very
Stealing
much.
my joke.
Yeah, man, you could have said it.
Cal was
pass
literally waiting for you to shut up. Cal was like, I've got a great joke coming up, and then Hunter just steals it. How dare you?
Nah, I forgive him.
Yeah.
But no, I saw cards, I sleep. You know, I'm like, I see cards, I snooze. I'm like, goodbye.
I don't know. I guess if I were to give something a chance card-based, it would be the thing from Yoko Taro. So there's that. But
who knows?
Alright. After that, Disco Elysium is coming to Switch. It's one of those things that I would play someday.
Very cool. I said it during our reaction. I'll just say it again here if you haven't seen it. It's the kind of game that I think is too big brain for me, that I just won't enjoy it because it's too complicated. But I'm glad, again, similar to Monster Hunter, I'm glad people like it.
Yeah.
But it definitely is not for me.
Following that, it was the finishing of the DLC for Age of Calamity, coming October 29th.
Did they fix the game?
I don't know. I probably will not be playing that.
Sorry, that was a bit of shit.
That was fucking brutal.
I didn't mean for it to come out like that. It's the hat, dude. It's the fucking hat. It's not me. It's me wearing a hat. I've become an edgy teen.
The edgy boy energy.
Yeah, I've become an edgy teen. I promise you, the hat will not be staying. It's just because I was wearing it all day to stop a headphone dent in my head, and now I have hat hair, so it looks awful. So I'm hiding it. But I'm sorry, that was brutal. But yeah, Age of Calamity.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem like anything super substantial with the story was happening. So yeah.
Yeah, it was weird because you had those 2 Musou games come out back to back in the West with Hyrule Warriors, and then a couple of months, like 2 months later, you got Persona 5 Strikers. Yeah. And to me, Persona 5 Strikers was just the better, more interesting, like, take on a franchise that they did. So Age of Calamity has kind of gone in one ear, out of the other. I completely forgot. I remember saying to you, Hunter, I was like, I forgot this game even came out, and I played it at launch. Like, I didn't even play it at launch. I played it like in December.
You played it a little later, yeah.
I played it even later, so it should still be in my head, but I just completely forgot about it.
following Age of Calamity was Chocobo GP.
Okay, you guys
Which
can
will be
go ham because
available
I have no
in
comments on this.
2022, which cracks me up. I probably will not be playing this, but
Same.
watching a bunch of Final Fantasy characters in this, middling visuals kart racer gave me a chuckle.
It was
How dare
very
you.
cute.
How dare you
I
not
like
want
seeing
to?
tiny Gilgamesh driving a tiny car.
I liked seeing Vivi drive a tiny car. And
I was
that's all
indifferent.
gotta
I
say.
thought it looked interesting, and that's all I'll say. Was it very much looked like a video game that Square Enix has made? Will it be good? Will it be bad? It'll probably be. I compared it to Nickelodeon's All Kart, like whatever it's called, All Karts Racing Transformed, or whatever rip-off name they called it.
Sam bought both of those.
But no, I think it looked fine. It looked like a classic Square Enix move.
Yeah. Following that was the announcement of the announcement for the final Super Smash Brothers fighter.
This is fucking pissing me
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Let's get
And
into it.
it will come October 5th.
Yeah, can we talk about then? They also followed that up with an announcement for an announcement of an Animal Crossing Direct as well.
Yeah, that one came after the Kirby thing.
Oh, it was after the Kirby thing. Okay, so it wasn't.
Kirby
back
was
to that.
sandwiched in between these two announcements of announcements.
Okay, can I just say I'm very annoyed. What's the fucking point of these announcements for the announcements? It's dumb.
It was so annoying with it.
If it was in the Nintendo Switch headlines where they went, a new Smash Bros. Fighter is coming soon, and then they did like the whole American Nintendo voiceover guy was like, new Smash Bros. Information is coming out on October 5th. I would have been like, that's perfectly fine. It's the fact that they went back to Nintendo Man in his weird fucking 3-dimensional prison of like red triangles passing past him. And went, we now have news regarding Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Please take a look. And then it went to a JPEG of them going,
We have no news.
no news, bitch. Come back.
I was ready. I was ready for the Band-Aid to finally be ripped off, and now it's not happening yet.
I was kind of sad. I had 2 tweets ready, and I couldn't use either.
Yeah.
I
had to make a whole new one.
Yeah, and now I have to be I have to be smarter. That's the thing that sucks. Is I have to be smarter now. when in like a week and a half and come up with a funnier tweet. Tragic.
Nah, just do the same joke again.
Just the exact same fucking joke. Just no difference whatsoever.
You can take a screenshot of your tweet and just repost that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Wonderful. Also, Kyle, you look phenomenal right now. You look glowing.
Thank you. Always do.
The blur looks better on the thing we're using, though, than it did on Discord, where you just kind of died. You just kind of go into like a little mosaic thing. It's okay. Kyle's fuzziness is on our end, not yours.
Hey, man. There's nothing I can do about
Anyway,
that.
let's talk about that pink the pink puffball. Is that what they call them? I don't know what they're
Smash
called.
Bros. announcement was the reveal that got leaked beforehand, which I managed to call, by the way.
Yes, he did. I said that something got leaked, and he said, "Is it Pikmin or Kirby?" And I was kind of freaked out. Not gonna lie.
Yahtzee. So, Kirby and the Forgotten Land shown off as a 3D platformer, which is new for Kirby. And, something interesting also, he woke up in like this abandoned, dead-looking city. And since Kirby games that start off with, other sillier hijinks and in like Eldritch Abominations, I'm interested to see if they get to the Eldritch Abominations sooner in this one.
Yeah, I've never been a big Kirby person because personally,
Neither have I, really.
the Kirby games are far too easy because I'm just a hardcore gamer, guys, and I'm just too big for those. But in all seriousness, I don't hate Kirby, but I always it's like Yoshi where I get too bored. I get like 3 hours in, 4 hours in, I'm like, well, I've had enough of this. I don't care about the other 8 hours. Yeah. This 3D Kirby I have more interest in because it's a 3D platform. There's more to it, but at the same time, they did a classic Kirby trailer where it's just fucking Kirby pissing about and walking around and not doing much. Like, show me the dance, show me the action, dude. Show me why I want to play this Kirby game. I don't want to play it so I can walk around Last of Us World with Kirby. Although Last of Us World with Kirby is pretty cool, I will give them that.
Yeah, it's a decent setting. I enjoy it.
I always love how depressing Kirby is. I always love that Kirby is like this like pink little ball of joy, right, of happiness, and he goes around throwing hearts at his friends to control them or whatever. But then the story of Kirby is always like, in a dystopian world full of hatred and destruction, Kirby will stop these horrible acts. I'm like, why is it so dark?
It always ends with like a bleeding eyeball angel or something.
Yeah.
And really, if they got to that part sooner, I'd be more in for it.
Yeah, it's so weird, but hey, I'm there for it. Hopefully it's good. I'm hoping it's good. I'm really hopeful for it. And like I say, I'm happy that the Kirby team is doing something new for once.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I hope it's good so that they're not deterred from doing something new every so often.
Yeah, and if it is good, I hope it does well and isn't people going, nah, I don't want that 3D one.
Yeah, like how new Super Mario Bros. Always does fucking gangbusters, and then the 3D Marios kind of always take a seat to them, and that's always really cringe to me, because I'm like, why?
It's
Who's choosing
worst.
2D over 3D?
Anyhow, after Kirby was the announcement for the Animal Crossing Direct. In
What a fucking
October.
piss take, by the way. Like, Animal Crossing fans have been waiting since March for an update. And then they get a fucking 5-minute trailer of like, ooh, there's a coffee shop in the museum. I'm like, for fuck's sake, they didn't even make it its own building. I'm like, oh my god. Animal Crossing fans, you stay hungry, dude, because you're not being fed. You're going to get to that direct and they're going to be like, amiibo cards, do this. And that's all it's going to be.
Oh, man.
Scan your amiibo card and you can make fucking your favourite raccoon a cup of coffee. Like, oh, great. Can't wait. God, I wish. How did Animal Crossing sell like 30 million copies and they did fuck all with it? Can we be real?
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Well, yeah, the point is that they didn't do anything after that, is what he's saying.
Yeah, they've had a year and a half at this point. They can't use COVID delays as an excuse for a year and a half and 30 million copies.
Well, that's how it sold 30 million copies.
True.
Believe you me, dude. If I wasn't in lockdown, I wouldn't have bought Animal Crossing.
I mean, to be fair,
I would have carried on my day.
To be fair to
in an Animal Crossing free life.
Animal Crossing has always been popular. It still probably would have sold like 20 million, 15 to 20 million, regardless. But yes, I agree. But it's still kind of unacceptable to have so little fucking content. The last thing they added was a Mario warp pipe, guys. That's how long it's been. Do you remember when they added that? That was the last
The
piece of
Mario
content they got.
anniversary.
That was the last piece of all content they got. Mario died after the last piece of content. Sorry, I'm in a really chaotic
Died and came
mood.
back
I'm
as
sorry.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I'm
So
sorry.
following the Animal Crossing thing, they transitioned to another highlight reel, which included an update from Mario Golf, which added Koopa Troopa, who was already an NPC, and Ninji.
That's a
from-
big pog, dude. That's a big
Yeah,
pog.
Ninji popped me. Like, I was like, oh, what's this guy? He's apparently the speedrunning mascot from Mario Maker.
Yeah,
Did
that's a
not know
fucking
that.
hype moment, dude.
But that
Like if
pleased
we
me.
if we were to separate things into like don't appreciate and appreciate, that is a big like fucking appreciate Ninja, dude. That's like
Yeah.
I vibe and don't vibe. I vibe with Ninja being added to Mario Golf, dude. That's it.
Apparently, it was available later that day, and I have neglected to.
Yeah, and they added 2 extra
Look it up.
courses. So
That happened too.
if you bought that game, there's the extra content that wasn't there at launch. You're welcome, guys. They just added it like 3 months later. I'm glad they are still adding content though, because that game kind of needs it.
Yeah.
And
Following
Ninja's a
Mario-
good pick, dude.
Yeah,
Ninja's a good
that is
pick.
a good pick. It's not something that you've seen in other ones, and it's not something that was already seen around in the game.
I can't wait
So-
for them to add the Mario paintbrush as the next golf character, dude. I can't wait. It's gonna be
It'd be cool if that was like a club that you could choose.
great. See, Nintendo, this is the kind of shit you could do if you actually added content to your video games. Like, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
What if they just added Cappy as a character?
That'd be fun.
I
How do
want
you
it
think
to,
that would work?
I want it to be
They may
Cappy
change
who
her up a
possessed
tennis
a
player.
member of New Donk City. I want it to be Cappy
That'd
on
be
top
fun.
of someone from New Donk City.
That'd be fun.
That'd be pretty hard.
Following Mario Golf was some Disney game that I'm gonna pass on.
Oh, that looked incredible. What
Yeah.
are you talking about? That's game of the year. When's it coming out?
What's it called, Ethan?
Disney's Dream Park Magic Mike.
Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition. And apparently it was a 3DS game.
Potato Potato, dude. That's the same one. That's the European name.
Right after this was the biggest
God,
reaction
I'm
I had
fucking
of
dumb.
the whole Direct when they had the port of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic
Oh my
announced
god.
for the Nintendo Switch. This sent me more than what we'll get to later. I laughed the hardest at this, and it was hilarious.
I was deceased at that point, dude. Like, I didn't
That
even
was
notice. I
fantastic.
didn't even notice. I was like, oh, a Star Wars game, and I was just like, Knights of the Old Republic, and I'm like, no fucking way, dude. No fucking
Yeah.
way.
The old one.
Yeah. As far as what I have to say about that is, I would have played it if they didn't know a newer, theoretically better version was coming in a couple of years.
Yeah. It's like the time where they like showed the Final Fantasy VII remake trailer and then went, Final Fantasy VII's now available on fucking Nintendo Switch. And you're like, oh yeah, okay. Like, thanks Nintendo, you're keeping us up to date.
Yeah.
Anyway.
After that was Dying Light 2 is getting a cloud version, and there's also a port of the original Dying Light coming out on October 19th.
I have
Pass.
nothing. Yeah, pass.
No.
Triangle Strategy, no more project.
I don't
is
understand.
coming-
Yeah.
To nobody's surprise.
Why did they put the project on? They did it for fun. You know they did it for fun. They know
I
that-
respect it.
They knew that when they announced it in January or whenever it was, they knew that it was called Triangle Strategy, that it comes out next year. They knew it. They just added the project just to fucking go with the
You know,
trend of
I feel
Octopath.
like this is just going to be their way of naming things that are giving it a stupid name and then taking the sting off by just being like, now you've gotten used to calling it.
Yeah, I think
This-
that's genuinely they call it projects so that people go, that's so dumb. But by the time that it's the actual name, they've got so used to saying Octopath Traveler that they're like, oh, of course it's now called Octopath Traveler.
It's definitely better than the reverse of that, where you changed Gods and Monsters to Immortals Phoenix, whatever
what
it was.
a tragedy, dude! What a
2
tragedy.
weeks before it came out.
Now, like honestly, Gods and Monsters, great name. Immortals Phoenix Rising. I forgot the game existed because of that name change,
Yeah,
dude.
Gods and Monsters, maybe a bit generic, but it gets the point across, and I remembered what it was called.
Yeah.
Mm.
What happened
But
to
anyway.
that game, by the way? What
I
did
don't know.
happen to it?
It came out in December along with 3 other Ubisoft games, and people forgot about it.
To be
Nobody
fair,
cared.
it was probably the best Ubisoft game that came out.
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
I mean, it didn't have much competition. Watch Dogs Legion was absolute gash, and fucking Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, Triangle Strategy coming out in March 4th, 2022.
and Kyle will be playing it.
I will probably also
I sure will
playing
be.
it.
I sure won't be because my head is not that big.
Yeah.
And it's not like Fire
Uh,
Emblem, so it doesn't have... Oh, actually, it might have a stupid
No,
story.
no, it's better.
It might have a stupid... And if it does have a stupid story,
yeah,
I'll
it
be
might
there.
have a
Or maybe
stupid
I'll buy
story.
a copy like I did with Octopath Traveler and just have it on my
And
shelf.
just not play it.
You do live in Europe.
I gotta get those
Speaking of
JRPGs.
games that
how
you're
long
going to
that
buy a
game will
copy of and
exist.
then not play, Metroid Dread was the next thing they showed, and the
I've already
trailer we
bought
didn't
it.
really need to see.
Yeah. There was a sale on eBay. This is completely in line with the Direct, right? I can go on this tangent. There was a sale on eBay where you could get 20% off from selected stores, and one of the stores was the store that I go to, like the website that I go to buy my games from cheaper. If you're in the UK, there's a website called Shop2, where big, huge recommendation from me, because I've never had a game really... The only game that didn't come on time was Life is Strange, and it came like the day after. But
Yes.
every other game I've bought from them comes on the same day, and it's like fucking... It's not even like a tiny bit cheaper. It's like, say a game is £50 in the UK, I'd buy it for like 42 from there. Like, it's not even like a small discount. It's like
pretty
quite a
substantial.
big chunk, right? And so they have an eBay store, and the eBay had this sale on top of their usual cheaper prices. So I got like both Metroid and Mario Party for like 60 quid. So don't
Nice.
worry, I'll be having a great fun, because you know, guys, you've listened to the podcast before. I love Metroidvania, so I cannot wait to play Metroid Dread in October.
Yeah. I give it 5 minutes max.
You think I'm gonna? Oh no! You think I'm gonna open the fucking
Bonus
game?
points if you actually make it past the title screen.
Nice. What I will say is though, Metroid is getting to the point where they're showing too much. I'll tell you that much.
I agree.
Mhm.
The
I
only
haven't
reason
even
I
seen
wasn't
all the trailers, but I know that this is like trailer 7, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there can't be this much story to a 2D Metroid to warrant this many trailers.
I've been not watching them, so there's that. But you know, which was probably the only reason I wasn't annoyed that I was kind of halfway paying attention to this one. But
Game
don't
still
think
looks
you
cool
needed to
though.
show
It has a really
because
interesting
it
art
comes
style.
out in like a week and a half.
Yeah.
But following Metroid was the update for the Nintendo Switch Online,
No.
which is being called... It includes a new membership plan called the Expansion Pack, which includes N64 games and Sega Genesis games, coming in late October.
Right, before we get to the games, can I just say that I think it's really fucking stupid that they call it an expansion pack, because they are genuinely trying to bait people on nostalgia here just to pay more money. I just want to say that, and I think it's fucking dumb. I also think to be honest, it's fucking dumb that they're making us pay extra for this, because Nintendo Switch Online is already fucking shite. So it's like a double. Because let's be real, you're paying Nintendo Switch Online for the NES and SNES games, because Nintendo has put $0 into the servers. Let's be real here.
Sure.
There's only two games.
The best one that worked.
There's 2 games that have good servers from Nintendo. Actually, 3 if you count Clubhouse. Clubhouse is one of them. The other 2 are Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon. They're the only ones that work. Everyone else, bad. Especially Smash Bros. Imagine paying $20 a year to play Smash Bros. Online. Ugh. Not me. But the fact that they're making you charge extra for this is kind of bullshit.
A little bit, yeah.
I think it would just be better if they just increased the price of the service by like $5 for everybody and just include it and not be fucking... Don't piss about with this 2-tier system, because are we going to get to 3 tiers when they add DS and Game Boy? Anyway, carry on, Hunter. Sorry, I needed to ramble.
So along with that, they're going to release wireless versions of the controllers. So when that N64 controller drops in price, I'll hit it for the meme.
Some say that the prison system is buying a lot of those N64 controllers to torture people with how terrible they are, you're gonna... I hate the N64 controllers so much.
It's a stupid design.
It is very silly.
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. I don't want a wireless one of those. You can have mine, Hunter.
I really just want to go back in time to when the N64 was releasing in 1996 and just look at people's reaction when they see the controller. Just be like, what do I do with this? Why are there 3 handles on it?
Yeah, I agree. What is that?
What's this weird stick in the center?
Hunter, do you wanna list off the games while we hope Kyle comes back from fucking Fuzzyland?
Oh, okay, so the thing I'm using doesn't have the games listed off here, but off the top of my head, there was Ocarina of Time and Mario 64.
Yes.
Along with some other wacky picks like Sin and Punishment and a couple of other things that
I'll
I'm
get them up, don't worry.
Forgetting.
I'm on it. N64 online. Nintendo Switch Online. Every SNES, SN64 game. Here we go. N64 games. There will be 9 at launch. Super Mario 64, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Sin and Punishment, Dr. Mario 64. God, Cal's going even fucking blurrier. Mario 10.
It's because we're talking about N64s. He's got to match the time.
Mario 64, Mario Tennis, Win Back, and Yoshi's Story are the 9. Then there's upcoming ones that have no release date, but will be added as post-launch content. Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon Snap, Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and F-Zero X. I say pretty solid picks, to be honest.
That is pretty solid picks. As far as, I'll be interested when they get later. I'd like for them to put on, Banjo-Tooie eventually, because... Mm-hmm. I didn't ever get to play that one. I might be able to give Paper Mario a shot now, too.
Looking forward to it. Kyle, do you want to quickly refresh the page so that see if that fixes it? Keep recording, bud. We'll see you on the other side. Oh, gosh. I've just realized that will really mess.
Are you taking up, 2 spots now?
Yeah, you have gone crazy, so I'm just gonna...
Oh, right. I'm the big screen.
Oh, yeah, Cal's back, ladies and gentlemen. It worked. We just had to refresh the page a little bit. Oh, yeah.
The one thing that's funny about this is I would probably, because I still have an N64 lying around with an Ocarina of Time cartridge, if I wanted to play that one, I would inconvenience myself by hooking that up, because I've got the one that has the red blood and the cool fire temple music, and they probably won't be using that for the Nintendo Switch version.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it just because it's an easy way to play N64 games, because N64 games are always a pain in the arse to play, really. because I hate the controller, so being able to play it with a decent controller like the Switch ones is pretty hype. And also being able to play Ocarina and Majora and not the 3D versions is also kind of nice. So
Yeah.
I think there's some interesting games. I think like I probably will be paying for the expansion pack because I didn't really grow up with the N64, and I admit that there are plenty of good games on the N64 that I would like to play at some point, and I'm sure they're going to add quite a decent amount of them.
I could just go back and play the Mario Golf that I like more.
Yeah, especially as they're charging extra for this. I think there's even more of a reason for them to add more games as they go along, because this time there are people paying exclusively for that. For the NES and SNES, they kind of had the excuse of saying, well, you're actually technically playing for the online, and these are a bonus. Whereas I don't think if these 7 extra games are added in the first year, I think people will be pretty pissed if that's it. So
yeah,
we'll have to see. Did you want me to read the Genesis games?
Oh, sure.
Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Phantasy Star 4, Ristar? Don't know what that is. Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, and Strider.
Oh, Strider on Genesis? That's cool.
Si, senor. So, what games would you like to see? Mario 64 is on here, so games that have been released on Switch, I think, are free range because free to go. Because literally, get fucked everyone that bought 3D All Stars. You basically just bought 2 games now. I'd love to see the Mario Party games go on there because there's no real way to play online Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, so that'd be pretty fucking hype.
Yeah, this would be a cool way for all of those party-based multiplayer games to get a bit of a new life, assuming you could connect well,
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see because Mario Tennis and Mario Kart do have online play.
Alright.
Already, so I guess we'll find out at launch, which should be later this month. I'm just trying to think. Other N64 games.
I mentioned Banjo-Tooie.
A lot of the rare stuff, man. As fucking memey as it would be, DK64 would be a pretty fucking good meme to be on there, to be honest. Conker, I don't know if they'd ever do it, but Conker would be
Conker would never happen.
Oh man,
it'd be a good one to get on there. Diddy Kart Racing would probably be a good one.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong Racing, sorry, not Diddy Kart Racing.
Diddy Kart Racing.
They missed opportunity not calling it Diddy Kart Racing, to be honest.
They should have.
I guess it's because you had planes and airship and water boats, whatever the fuck water boats. Well done, Ethan. Hover. Like hover boats things. I don't know what they're called. You know what I mean? Where they have little air pockets underneath them. Whatever they're called.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
A lot of Raz tiles would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. That was Rare was one of the defining developers.
GoldenEye, dude, get that jank on there.
That's one that I'm pretty sure is hard.
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark, yeah. I think Perfect Dark probably has a better chance than GoldenEye because I'm pretty sure the licensing with GoldenEye is stupid.
It'd be a pretty good way to promote the reboot as well if they just chucked it on NSO so that people could understand what it is again, so that when it magically shows up on the Xbox in a couple of years, then people could be like, oh.
In several years, it seems.
Yeah. Partnering with Crystal Dynamics, a very interesting collaboration. But yeah, I would be pissed, but it's a decent set of games to start with. Having Ocarina and Mario Kart and Star Fox and stuff like that from the start, Yoshi's Story. There's plenty of stuff to at least enjoy for a little bit, so can't really complain. And you'll also be able to
hitting up the classic N64 games.
Yeah. And they're not doing what they did with SNES and NES, where they kind of didn't even include they're including some of the big hitters from the start, which is nice. And they're promising some of the other ones. I'm sure a lot of people when they saw Ocarina were like, "Oh, but where's Majora?" At least they've now said Majora is coming within the first couple of months. So, interesting. It'd be interesting to see what other consoles that they do. I hope they continue to expand NSO, because
logically the next one that would follow is probably Game Boy stuff.
it's been rumored that the Game Boy and a Game Boy Advance have been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would do it via the premium, the expansion, or if it would be a part of regular, because it's still kind of sprite-based 8-bit stuff. So
Yeah.
who knows? Anyway.
Following on from the N64 Online thing, Shadowrun Trilogy from Paradox developers. I forget what the full studio name is if it's just Paradox.
Is it Paradox Interactive?
That sounds right.
I don't know. That was honestly a guess. That just sounded right in my head.
All right. Contains 3 games. I don't have any opinion on it. So
Yeah, pass.
I don't even remember this from the direct.
Same, pass.
So good work, team.
Right after that was Castlevania Advanced, which, I like Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. These are other games that are Castlevania games. It'll be interesting to try them out sometime.
Yeah.
The other cool thing is that they had the different regional versions of the games on there too.
Oh, do they?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you can just swap.
Yeah.
You can just hot swap between them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is
I
cool.
like that.
Following
Just a
that
neat little
was ActRaiser Renaissance, an HD remaster for an old Square Enix game that none of us knew about.
Yeah, but yeah, I saw a couple of people on Twitter were like, "Oh, I can't believe they're bringing that back," and I'm like, "Oh, there's the audience right there." Apparently,
Yeah.
there are people that know it.
It was just the Metal Gear Solid question mark from all 3 of us.
I just like
Yep.
this is the game we play now. Is how many games get a remaster before Chrono Cross at this point, just to make Kyle just sit there in the corner and be like, "Wait your turn." Oh, Razor or whatever the fuck it's called's got to go first.
Just in this direct alone, we got ActRaiser and Chocobo
Actually, so that's
Racing.
it, yeah, but yeah,
Is
They'll run out
Turbo
of-
Racing a
Great.
remake?
they'll run out of IPs eventually.
It was
Kyle,
it was
don't
on
worry.
PS1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chocobo Racing is a game.
All right. Following that was Deltarune Chapter 2 coming to Switch. I'm real happy I waited a week.
That's good.
Yeah. And then is when we get to the big one.
Oh,
Miyamoto
boy.
came onto screen to talk about the Illumination Mario movie.
Yes.
Coming holiday 2022, December 21st in the US.
I hope there's a trailer for it at the Game Awards next year. There will be.
Oh, Jesus.
Chris Pratt's going to come on and give an award next year. Can't wait.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
In a Mario
Anyhow,
costume.
Then they, after
With
the
Joseph
release date-
Fares.
Oh, Jesus. After the release date reveal was when they revealed the cast, which includes Chris Pratt as Mario.
Oh, what a casting, dude. What a casting.
Yep. It popped these two, and it just caused abject confusion with me. So that was fun.
It's just the sentence that gets me.
It's the way that they translated what Miyamoto was saying that got me. Because he kept saying Chris-san, and he kept saying how he was very funny and talented. And I was just fucking crying with laughter the entire time. Because I'm like, I can't imagine Miyamoto saying this about Chris Pratt, to be honest. Like, I'm not even taking in his questionable, like, personal life into any of this. I'm just like laughing at the whole idea, the whole concept of Chris Pratt being Mario. Like, it's so funny to me. It's hilarious.
Anna Taylor-Joy will be Princess Peach.
Yeah, I have no
Charlie. Yeah.
objection. That's I no comment on that one.
I'm not familiar with her work aside from The Witch, which was not a good movie.
No.
I watched half of Queen's Gambit and she was pretty solid in that.
Oh, it is
Very
Queen's Gambit person. That's where I was like, I recognize that face, but the blonde hair, I was like, I don't recognize you fully. And now I'm like, of course, Queen's Gambit.
Charlie Day will be Luigi.
That makes sense. That's logical casting right there.
Bowser will be Jack Black. That's the
logical
one that popped
casting
me.
right there. That is
You gotta
logical
be
casting.
very
Right
good
there.
at that one. Keegan Michael Key will be Toad. I really
That
hope he
one's
just
fucking
talks normally.
that was fucking hilarious.
And Seth Rogen will be Donkey Kong.
No, that's perfect casting, dude. That is literally the idea of Apex casting. Like, that is gigam casting, dude. I hope he's high as fuck when he does Donkey Kong's lines.
And then Charles Martinet, Mario's video game voice, will be in the movie as cameos.
Imagine getting the call for the Mario. Imagine being Charles Martinet, getting the call and going, "Yo, do you want to be cameos in the Mario movie?" And he's like, "What? I'm not playing Mario." Oh, sorry, no, we gave that role to Chris Pratt, dude. Like, no,
Dude.
I cry. What a weird fucking segment this was, dude. Like, genuinely,
Yeah.
like it didn't feel real. I
This
thought
was
like
very odd.
it was the definition of a fever dream. You know, I was just completely out of it. Why were we getting these celebrity mug shots while Miyamoto was complimenting them, dude?
It is really weird.
I never expected Miyamoto to have Miyamoto say, "I'm expecting a monstrous performance from Jack Black as Bowser in like a Nintendo Direct." Never thought I'd see it, but there you go.
So following on the Mario hijinks, Splatoon 3 got its first showing since February. We saw a bit of the single player and we get to see a few things in the gameplay. There was this, I don't know, ball that one of them was rolling around in.
Yeah,
which
it
was
looked
cool.
like Wrecking Ball from Overwatch, like straight out, but pretty cool. I like it.
There was also some kind of grappling hook, from what I recall.
Yeah, that was cool. Like,
So it's neat that they are adding more to like the gameplay than just things that seem to do different than just the kind of basic additions that they made with 2, at least.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I mean, Splatoon. I feel like a lot of people love Splatoon, so it looked great. It looked like the single player looked more like Octo Expansion than the single player of Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2, so that's a big thumbs up from me because Octo Expansion was probably, not including Torna, because I feel like Torna's a standalone game, not really an expansion. I feel like it's cheating because it's basically its own load-in. But I think Octo Expansion is the best DLC expansion content that Nintendo has made for one of their games that isn't Torna. It's really damn good. So I'm excited that they took inspiration from that to carry on the single player.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what's new, because they've shown off multiplayer and single player pretty early this time, which to me suggests that the next time we see it, there might be more to the game to show.
Something else up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Like a different mode or something.
Similar to Salmon Run, maybe this time they won't have it as arbitrary 2-hour periods of the day where you can play the co-op mode, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
No, Nintendo, they probably shortened it to an hour.
And following Splatoon, the final trailer was Bayonetta 3.
That was a thing.
Indeed it was.
I don't know, Hunter, you're the best person to talk about this, I feel.
Alright, well, it's cool to see Bayonetta again. So, as far as the trailer itself, it was just... If not for the fact that it had been 4 years since the game was announced, I don't think this would have gotten the pop that it did from people who were excited for it.
100%.
It looks like a pretty standard trailer. It's led to some interesting theory collecting amongst the internet, but, you know.
Bayonetta is not Bayonetta. It is Bayonetta prequel Bayonetta. It's the child Bayonetta, now Bayonetta, and Bayonetta is Bayonetta. Are you guys following? I think this makes sense.
And also
Yeah.
Virgil's in the game.
Oh, yeah, there was a person with a sword at the end cutting the release date, so more hints to the timey-wimey hijinks that the series loves. And it looked like Virgil, but who knows who it really is. It could be alternate Jean, or however you say her name.
John, yeah. That's what my feeling is. My current theory on that game is it's an alternate timeline or parallel world or something. I
feel like there's going to be a collision between the two of them. Like, I feel like it'd be weird
my
to be like, aha, alternate game entirely.
My prediction is our Bayonetta is screwed in some way, and it's this other dimensional Bayonetta or this other world that's kind of fixing ours, and that's the kind of thing that I think's happening. Is this alternate dimension Bayonetta and John are going to come in and save the day?
Yeah, I like
my prediction is that old Bayonetta, this new Bayonetta is based on the Bayonetta 1 like child version of her,
Cereza.
Yeah, Cereza grown up, and I think that Jean is just a dude in this universe. I just think that he's Virgil. She's Virgil.
Which is, you know what, respect. I don't care.
It'd also be a very...
always down to have more Virgils in the world.
It'd be a very interesting thing, because you obviously with with gender-bending characters, usually it's male characters to female, so it'd be very weird and interesting if a female character was now a guy in a mate. That'd be interesting. I don't know. We'll
That
see.
would be interesting.
I think it could also very much be just another character entirely, and that would also be pretty cool.
It's completely possible, yeah. I did like the different ways that this Bayonetta seemed to be using her powers. It's cool that it's not just recycling the same exact kind of power system as before. Like, her Madame Butterfly thing seemed more like a personal special ability rather than summon what's-her-face and, skyscraper punches.
Yeah. Her clothes no longer go off her body when she turns into weird demon things. 0 out of 10. Don't want to buy the game.
Yeah, some people are worried that that's some form of censorship, but I think you're jumping the gun on that because Bayonetta 2 was Wii U exclusive and she did it there.
I think it's better anyway. I'm not gonna lie. I always thought it was a bit weird that her fucking clothes had to come off for her to make even more hair. I'm like, if you can make that much hair to turn into a fucking demon, then you can keep the hair on your fucking clothes. I might say,
that's just how Bayonetta is.
Let's be real.
So I got over it.
Come on, it makes sense. But no, I like the kind of kaiju monster battles that you seem to be doing now, where you can summon these big ass fucking giants and just start beating the shit out of people.
I hope those segments aren't too long, because
I hope
it'll quickly overstay its welcome if it's.
I also hope they're not gimmicky as fuck either. That's my other hope, because it's funny in a trailer, right? You just see Bayonetta fucking doing fucking default Fortnite dances in the front, having a massive rave as a massive spider just beating the shit out of a kaiju. That's pretty cool. But if it's the 16th time fucking Bayonetta's taking the L on the enemy, and I'm like, it's getting a bit old now. Can we move on? Can we do some Orange Justice or something instead? Bayonetta, come on, get with the times,
Yeah.
There's the only 3 Fortnite dances I know are default taking the L and Orange Justice. They're the only 3 references you're getting from me. But now, it looks interesting. I also agree that I don't know if it's just because it's a Platinum game, but the game already looks old coming out. I'm sure it'll play great, but visually
Platinum's
to me it doesn't
never been the best visual studio, but it doesn't look any worse than the other ones. So
it looks like Bayonetta 2, so which makes sense.
Good enough for me.
Reuse the same assets and stuff like that. I will say though, I personally think that the outfit's a step down. I think Bayonetta 2 is just peak costume, to be honest. I didn't know. I was like, they were never going to beat it.
I like her 2 design more. For whatever reason, and this is rare for me that I prefer short hair, but it works for Bayonetta a lot.
Yeah, I agree. This weird... Yeah, I'll probably get used to it, but I don't know. It just kind of... When I first saw it, I was like, oh... Weird. I was not expecting it to go like that.
It's a bit busy, but also if it is a second Bayonetta, then I'll get over it, because, hypothetically, there's the one we're used to is around.
Yeah, who knows? I also think it's weird that they changed the VO.
Yeah.
A bit weird.
That is a bit strange.
So, who knows? Maybe there's a reasoning. Who knows? Guess
I
we'll
feel
have to
like
wait to see.
Probably is, but yeah.
It has a 2022 release date, and I can guarantee you've got a higher chance of that coming out than Zelda. So, thumbs up.
Very
well
true.
Done. See you in 2022, Bayonetta. Who knows? It looked done. It looked pretty close to being done. Not gonna lie, it looked. Pretty damn good.
I liked their during their tease part of the thing, the Astral Chain dog being, haha, gotcha for a second.
If it hadn't leaked earlier, I would have been like, "Oh, it's Astral Chain 2" for a bit. They would have got I feel like they would have got more people. But...
Yeah, when the purple thing made the P, I was like, okay, so it's either Astral Chain 2 or Bayonetta. And because Bayonetta had just been gone for so long, I was like, I don't know. And the monsters look closer to Astral Chain's kind of visual style.
I think it was a bait on purpose, to be honest.
Yeah, because I believe Astral Chain's director is doing this game. Yeah. So it was probably just a little. There was
quite a funny quote about that. Was that they were talking about swapping directors, and then the director of the new one mentioned how the glasses needed to be how Bayonetta can never take her glasses off or something because it's all a part of the character. The new director said that, and then the old director was like, "Damn, he knows this character better than I do. This is like, Damn it, he's gonna be better than me.
Oh,
Which I just thought was a funny quote.
that is funny.
I also like how Kamiya was not blocking people on Twitter for one day. He was like, I will not block you
What a
on
nice
I will not
lad.
block English users for one day. There was also a funny thing where I saw an artist do like a drawing of New Bayonetta, and he unblocked the artist, retweeted the art, replied saying that he loved it, and then blocked her again.
I was reading something about this where someone that I was looking at, they talked about how he was passive aggressively retweeting art that forgot her mole, because apparently that's something that he's passionate about.
Yeah. He also tweeted out an image of him zooming into Bayonetta's mole and it being the Yoko Taro logo.
Oh my god. Oh man. That's amazing.
There's plenty of funny stuff going on with Bayonetta. But now, it's about damn time that game comes out. And in a Platinum interview, they said that they were entering final stages of development where they said they were polishing the game. So I honestly think this is a first half of 2022 game, I think.
That would be nice.
I think the first half of 2022 for Nintendo is quite packed.
I've had
already.
a solid amount of breathing room since the last time I played DMC5. Ready to go.
And if you only play Bayonetta, you've had plenty of time.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Even if you played the Switch ports, which were in early 2018.
Yeah.
So, plenty of time. But no, if I was a betting person, I'd say it's out before June, probably. But also there's supposed to be a Xenoblade game out in spring, and they didn't show that. So who knows, guys? Who knows? Maybe one day we'll see Xenoblade 3, Kyle. One day.
I hope so.
It just takes Smash to die. Once Smash dies, there you go. Xenoblade's free.
Perfect.
But now we talked quite a long time about the Direct, so
Oh man.
I guess. I guess.
Oh jeez. Remember when we thought that was going to be a 40-minute episode?
Yeah. Well, apparently I got a second wind of energy or something. Because hey, here we are. But now, I guess that's it. Are we done?
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to talk
Bayonetta
about?
was the last thing.
No, that's it. But no, we gave our overall impression of the Direct at the start. So yeah, there you go. Let us know what you guys thought of the Nintendo Direct down in the comments, or at us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly, and let us know. But yeah, I guess that's been our show. So as always, our links are on screen right now. You can go and follow us on our personal channels, and yeah, keep up to date with everything that we're up to. Thank you, Kyle, for joining in and the participation. And if you want to also participate, you can go and follow us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly, or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/HotGamersOnly. Or hey, if you don't want to look at our stupid faces and just want to listen to us, you can go to your favorite podcast service. Just type in HotGamersOnly, or go to linktree/HotGamersOnly and find us on your favorite podcast service, such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And yeah, with that, I guess we're done. Thank you so much for listening/watching this week. It's been a train wreck to get this episode made, but hey, we did it.
Oh, yeah,
we made it in the end. We've had a couple of Cal going into the pixel dimension moments, but hey, it happened in the second half, Cal, so it's fine. We got their attention by that point. It's all good.
Perfect.
That's all we need. We got you for the first half. That's all we need. The quality can slip. Yeah, but no. Yeah, that's it. I guess we're done. So yeah, we'll see you in the same time, same place next week for more. Hopefully I won't be wearing this stupid hat, and hopefully this fucking spot that I've been staring at for like a whole hour disappears too.
Alright.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Just got the one spot here, and me having my hat on, I think is emphasizing it even more. So yeah.
Okay.
I got to try to do it. Same time, same place next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.